excited to talk about tonight's event because, or tonight's session, because it's something I'm really passionate about. I'm really passionate about retreats. You probably know that I run them. You hopefully have heard about my retreats, and I'm very passionate about it because what I find is women we don't take time out for ourselves. We don't give ourselves the opportunity to have that time for ourselves. So when we go on things like retreats, we're more likely to give ourselves what we need for that period of time. And I think it really does make a difference. So this is something that I have done for myself before. I will tell you a little bit about it as I get going, but just love sharing about how you can retreat yourself, and what the benefits are and why you should do it and what you may not be realizing about yourself. So I'm going to share my screen with you and just go through a very quick short slideshow. You know how I love pictures and like everything to be visual. So let me share that with you and just check that it's working. Hopefully it is. I'm finding Facebook just doesn't like me lately, or technology really. Don't know if anyone else is having this problem. There we go. It's working. Cool. All right. So for those of you that don't know me or you're new to this Facebook group, my name is Melissa Wilkes and I'm a nutrition and mindset coach. I also am a retreats facilitator, and I've been running retreats in WA in Perth for 6 years, actually closer to 7 years. I started off with a business partner at the start, and then the last 3 years have been on my own, and I love it. I get a lot out of it. They are a lot of work to host. The bigger your retreats get, a lot more work it does. And I don't think people realize how much effort and time goes into retreats. I'd say it's about 3 months worth of work. And I joke around and I say it's like having a baby. You literally go through this whole pregnancy, which is the getting all the retreat stuff ready, and then you give birth. Which is an amazing experience, and you get all the rewards out of it. I know it's a weird analogy. Melissa is weird. Anyway, I love also the opportunity to be able to feed people, because that is one of my love languages is feeding people food that is healthy and nutritious, and giving the opportunity for people to say, you know, it's not that hard to make healthy food. It's just that we don't know how. So I give that throughout the retreat as well. And as a coach, I help and support women in nutrition and mindset. And I find that you can't just learn about nutrition, or you can't just learn about mindset. They need to come together, because we can learn all the things that we need to about health and well-being. But if we don't have the right mindset, we can't actually keep those new habits and those new routines and the new things that we want to do. We can't keep them because we don't have the right mindset around it. So that's what I do, a lot of education and support and guidance. There's nothing like having a coach who can be there for you and support you through everything. And the interesting thing is, I know the struggle. I've been through so many different health issues when I was younger, and been through all sorts of different relationships with food. And so, yeah, I know exactly what it feels like, and I know the struggle. So I wanted to talk to you about how to have your own DIY home retreat, because I just came back from the retreat I hosted only recently. And I just heard such beautiful feedback again, which I'm very grateful for. And what I find is that we are taking a bit of a step or a bit of a gamble to jump into attending something like a retreat. And there might be reasons why you're sort of holding back and being too maybe not understanding how they work, or being too scared, or really don't have the time or the budget or whatever it is. And so I want to be able to make it, to, I guess, invite you to look at how you can create this for yourself, how you can do this for yourself and really be able to provide all the similar benefits, which I'm going to share with you today. So the benefits, or the reason why I think retreats are awesome, because they create a love and connection with yourself. We spend a lot of our days looking outwards, looking at everybody else and what's going on and dealing with the outside world, looking after the people that we love and care about, or working in roles, positions with work or our careers. And a lot of that's really exhausting and time consuming. When we go on a retreat, we give ourselves an opportunity to create a love and connection with ourselves. We come back to who we are, and we are away from the distractions. And so it's really, really powerful and great opportunity to tap in with yourself. So the reason why I think retreats are powerful is because a lot of the times we get to the point where we're exhausted and overwhelmed. And if you don't know whether you're exhausted and overwhelmed, I'm going to ask you a few questions. How much free time do you have? Do you have any free time? How much time do you have to check in with yourself on a daily basis? And how often are you checking in with your own needs? I've worked with women for so many years, and what I hear a lot of is that this is not happening. We're not making free time for ourselves. We're not doing the daily check-in with ourselves to see how we're coping, how we're going, how we're feeling, what's going on. And then also very common with women is not even knowing what their needs are or feeling confident enough to express our needs or communicate our needs. So, this is where you stop and think, how are you feeling right now? How are you feeling right this minute? Because a lot of the times we don't make that connection. We don't stop to think, how do I feel right now? And it's such a powerful thing, right? Because it's actually making us stop and look and think about it and connect with self. What can happen is you might find yourself feeling everything, or you might find yourself feeling nothing. And this is actually quite common. So what this is when you find yourself feeling everything, you are feeling sensitive, you are feeling raw, you're feeling emotional, you're feeling all the feels, right? Or you might find yourself feeling nothing. And that's when we are not coping. That's when we are numbing out and not really dealing with life. So when we overfeel things or we underfeel things, it's actually our body and mind's way of coping and surviving. It's actually designed that way to cope and survive so that we can deal with stuff. And when I say, you might think, well, how is being emotional, how's being sensitive, how is being raw a way of cope and survival? Well, it's keeping you very aware of your surroundings. It's keeping you on your toes. It's keeping you on alert. I'm not saying it's the right thing, but it's what our mind thinks is how we can cope and survive. And then for some people, it's the actual opposite. It's not feeling anything at all, switching all of that off. So I'm not sure if that's something that you can relate to, those feelings. I'm feeling one way or the other, and really noticing that you are feeling really sensitive. You are feeling very raw, maybe. But coping and surviving isn't a comfortable way to live. We really need to be thinking about, I don't actually want to feel like I'm just coping and surviving. Like there is way more to life than this. Come on, what else is there? I don't want to feel like this all the time. what happens is when we're feeling like we're coping and surviving and we are feeling quite uncomfortable, we will actually find ways to feel better. That is not the best option for us. And again, this is us finding distractions, finding comfort in anything we can. And that's when I meet a lot of women that are at that stage. I call it numbing out. It's where we numb ourselves to a point of no feelings because the feelings are too much, or we don't know how to deal with the feelings because no one teaches us this stuff. And so numbing out can look like sitting up, watching movies, drinking wine. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that how you do it, how often you do it, all the intentions around that, right? It could be that you're eating food that just isn't the best food for you. Maybe having ice cream every once in a while is okay, but having ice cream all the time because you're struggling to deal with your emotions, your feelings, and maybe also that life is literally not fun. And this happens a lot as well with women. Life's not fun. We're looking after everybody. We feel exhausted and burnt out. And so what we want is to feel good about something. So we'll eat food that we think is going to make us feel better. But in most cases, it actually doesn't. It actually creates a whole heap of feelings and emotions that we don't particularly like or enjoy or anything like that. So this is why I feel like when we get to the point where we realize we're numbing out, it's like stop, take an assessment of ourselves, look at the situation. How did I get here? What do I need right now? And I need to get myself out of this slump or out of this numbing out on the daily, out of these feelings of overwhelm or like I'm just trying to cope. And that is why I think doing it your own DIY retreat is great if you don't have time for anything else. If you can't fit anything else in, then how can you do your own retreat? And this can be really, really powerful because it's also an opportunity for you to self-love and self-care. And we know how important that is. We know how fulfilling that is and how it can fill our cup right back up, which is generally what we're needing, right? So tapping in with what do I need and having that realization is really key for self-care, self-love, and seeing our own patterns of behavior and seeing that we're trying to cope, but it's not actually working in our best interests. So how do you self-retreat? All right, so I hope you're ready. I'm going to go through them. Number one, book time off. Look at least a half a day. If not a full day, a weekend or a week. Pick the right location. So you could have it at home if you have no one else at home. You could look at an Airbnb, a hotel, maybe that you've got some friends that are on holiday and you could ask them if you could stay at their place. So I know quite a few women that do things like that, or you might have friends that have a holiday home, maybe a boat that you could stay on, whatever kind of works for you. But if you don't have all those options, maybe it's just your bedroom could be your sanctuary or your retreat space. And the next thing that's key is to let everyone know you're unavailable for this time period. So when we do that, we let everyone know that we're unavailable. We give ourselves an opportunity to put those boundaries in with people. Telling them you're not available means they shouldn't contact you. It means you get an opportunity to not think or worry about anyone else but yourself. And, even on my retreats, I say to the women, leave your phones in your room because we don't need them. There was a time, you won't believe it wasn't that long ago, where no one walked around with mobile phones all the time. We weren't that reliant on them. We actually used to pick up a handline. So we don't need our phones all the time. And so when we let everybody know we're unavailable for this time period, we're giving everybody an opportunity to know what boundaries we're putting up for this period of time. I think it's really key that you have some healthy, nutritious, very yummy, fulfilling food and creating it before the retreat so you don't have to cook at the retreat. So maybe you'll have 1 or 2 meals, depending on how long you're going away for, or if you're at another place. Maybe you're at home, but there's nothing better than creating the right space. And we can create the right space by having the house set up. If we're in our own home, we would make sure that that's really clean and tidy. We can't retreat if we don't have a clean, tidy house, because we're going to spend our whole time thinking about it, right? And so making some food up before and then having the kitchen cleaned up means that you don't have to do any housework, because when we're on retreat, we don't do housework, but we don't want to live or be staying in an environment that's not clean and tidy, because that's going to not create the feelings that we want. So if it's somewhere where you've got to provide your own food, look at how you can have some nice, healthy, nutritious, yummy food. Maybe it's something that you get delivered so that you don't have to cook, because it's really taking away those responsibilities that makes a retreat really, really powerful. If we don't have heaps of responsibilities and things to worry about, then, you know, it will feel a lot easier for us, and it won't feel overwhelmed or anything like that. Take a book or download a podcast. So find something that you can listen to or you can read that is going to occupy your mind for any points of time where you need, or just to download something that's going to interest you. Look at things that you can bring that make you feel soothed. And so things that I would suggest would be like your pillows, your blankets, some essential oils, some Epsom salts or magnesium salts for the bath, the incense, your speaker, your music, all the things that are going to make you feel good. Look at having a journal. Bring a blank journal, a blank little journal that you've bought or been gifted that you can bring, so that you can do some writing down in there. I love packing like a little, I guess, retreat bag that has my incense in it, my essential oils in there. I put some oracle cards in there, some affirmation cards. I even like games that you can do on your own. Things where you don't need a TV is really great, so that you're not watching too much TV. Otherwise, that's kind of like numbing out. And so we don't really want to put ourselves in a numbing out environment. We really want to be getting closer to ourselves and connecting within. So the journal can be really, really powerful. You can do some personal development work. So maybe there is something that you've been wanting to do some work on, and you can do that in your journal. Or maybe there's someone that has, I know I have a lot of stuff. If it's something that you're interested in, let me know. Workbooks and things like that you can do. That's really going to help you to tap in some questions that you might have about your life, things that you want to change. It's a great opportunity to do like an assessment of yourself. And then how can you add nature into your retreat? How can you connect with the outside on your own, so that you are having that opportunity to heal and replenish and feel really, really good? So yeah, figuring out what it is that you want to be surrounded by. So for me, when it comes to retreating, it's very trees and the earth, the bush, that sort of stuff. But if I was going on a holiday, it would be more of the beach. So you've got to figure out what works for you. Is it the beach that you're wanting to connect to, the ocean, walking along that beach, imagining your feet on the sand? How does that feel? Maybe you like to be somewhere that's very luxury, that's going to make you feel a little bit more like a retreat. So maybe it's hiring a hotel room with a really nice pool or some views and something like that. Or maybe it's just like a simple little cabin. I know the prices of Airbnbs have gone up dramatically over the last couple of years, especially the last 12 months. But figuring out if there's something that you can find and that involves you just being able to snuggle down and just disconnect. And I just think that's a really powerful tool, is that whole disconnection, right? Because that's what we're really needing, is disconnection from the outside world, so we can connect back within. But yes, like if you've just got your own room and that's all you have to do, then make your room feel and put things in it that is going to create that environment for you to feel like it's a retreat space, to feel like you are connecting within. And yeah, let's see how we can retreat ourselves, because we deserve it. We work hard, we look after everybody, we nurture everybody, and we forget how powerful and important it is to do that for ourselves. The benefits is that we're taking that time out for ourselves. We are becoming more self-aware because we're connecting with self. We're dealing with our emotions in a healthy way by giving ourselves an opportunity to tap in and see what's going on. It's a great opportunity for the start of you really looking at some self-improvement and connect back to self. And you return from your retreat that you've created feeling a lot better about yourself, about your life, and just feeling more recharged and rejuvenated, which I think is really important. And if you would like to learn a bit more about my retreats, I'm very excited to share anything like that with you. I've been running retreats in WA for 6 years, and next year is going to be overseas. So I'm really, really excited. I'm actually not looking at having to advertise. If I can, I would really love that. I just do a quiet release of tickets, and those people that have said to me they're 100% in, they really, really want to come, get that first option. And hopefully that's the right people for my next retreat. So I'm looking at around August, September next year. I'm pretty positive it will be hosted in Bali. And I'm just double checking a couple of locations, but I'm really, really excited. So I'm looking at 5 nights or 6 nights, and it's going to be fantastic. It will be healthy food, but it will also be very flavoursome. I don't want to do a raw food for that long. I might do it in the future, but I think for the first retreat, I just want to do it where it's just really yummy and lots of flavours. And but it will be healthy and nutritious and exciting. And there will be plenty of food. And then there will be a lot of self-development and also nutrition and mindset in there as well. And of course, as all my retreats are, you will also be able to experience the self-care, self-love time as well, where you can jump in the pool or go for a walk or lie in a hammock or any kind of adventure that interests you. So working out what that is for you and what that means. So I'm just also looking at all the amazing activities that are available. There's some absolutely beautiful places to go that's really perfect for a retreat. So I'm finalizing that. If that's something that you're interested in, please let me know, comment below, and I can put you down as interested. Like I said, I actually already have a list of women that have come to my retreats over the last few years that are first dibs on getting a spot. But if there's any opportunity after that, I'm happy to share that with you. If that's something that you're interested in, just let me know. As always, I would love to share that with you. Hang on. So yeah, if you haven't already seen, have a look in the comments, and there's a video of a retreat, goddess retreat I ran last year, and you're welcome to watch that if you want to see how my retreats work. Anyway, if anyone has a go at retreating for themselves, having their own retreat in their home or an Airbnb or whatever, I would love to hear your experience or your story of how that all went. And yeah, take care. Have a great last bit of Tuesday night, and go and have a look at that full moon. I think it's a blood orange full moon. I'm going to go check it out now. Take care. Goodbye.